done so much for the fans with his Make-A-Wish charity. You know, he's a legend. But as a father, what did you do to instill that kind of a humanity and empathy in him?
I have 5 sons.
Okay.
All 5 of my sons are champions. I raised my boys the way I was raised. I come from an Italian family. We grew up with love, we grew up with caring, and we grew up helping others, working to make sure others had what we didn't have. You know, my mother and father both worked. I'm not trying to put anybody saying, oh, poor Mr. Cena. No, had a great life. I really did. But, you know, it was a lot different. And so I tried to instill in my boys that value that was instilled in me. You know, we heard a neighbor couldn't buy food. We brought them food. We heard a neighbor was in the hospital. We went to visit. I feel very, very upset. I received an email on Thursday. It was from a friend of mine for a 15-year-old boy, a children's hospital. John, obviously, you're not going to get him. So I offered to go in and bring some memorabilia and, you know, talk to the young man. I received a text on Friday that said, we don't know if that's going to happen. I got a text on Saturday morning that he was on morphine. I got a text on Saturday night that he died. You know, when you look at that kind of thing, anybody that cares, if you don't reach out and you won't help. And John, my son, you know, his heart is so big. I've heard all kinds of things, you know, say what you want about him. Say what you want. All my young sons, they're all the same. And the Make-A-Wish is near and dear to his heart. And I think that's a way that we give back. It's a way to take care of these young men and women who probably won't be here. I remember doing a wrestling show in Canada, and a woman came over to the ring, and she said to me, Mr. Cena, I want you to see something. And it was a locket, and she opened it up, and she said, there's a picture of your son, and there's a picture of my daughter. He was so kind to go out of his way to meet my daughter, and she died 3 days after he met her. So, you know, those are the values that I instill. I live by those rules. I don't trash people. I don't try to hurt people. I try to help. Sometimes I'm not successful, like that young man. But you know, if the world would just stop and look and see what's happening. We've got people who can't buy food. We have elderly people eating dog food. Appalachia, they can't afford shoes or clothes. Yet we'll send billions of dollars overseas. Cena does things to give back. He loves those children. He loves to Make-A-Wish. I remember one time when he took his shirt and his bands off his arm and gave it to a young man right there in a wheelchair. So that's what it's all about. You know, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. I can instill or hope to teach you the values that I grew up with, the values that I live by today. If you do it, great. If you don't, then I did the best I could.
Well said, sir. Well said.
John, how about wow. That was excellent. Thank you.
That's Pharaoh's favorite.
That's
Valentine.
my all-time favorite, Greg Valentine.
Let me tell you, he is a great, great person.
Oh.
Hello, Greg.
The Dream Team. What'd you think about the Dream Team?
Ooh.
Was it really a dream?
Oh, no.
To me, they were. To me, they were. So let me ask you, John, the return of John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch, and Phil Brooks. Which, in your opinion, was the most impressive in, you know, on the return?
Wow.
You know,
wow.
I think the deal with Becky, you know, the way she left, the way she came back, a squash in 3 minutes, sorry. You know, I'll tell you who impressed me was Edge. He has not lost it.
No.
The Brood, him and Rollins put on one hell of a match.
I thought it would be the best match of the night. I agree.
I was so impressed by that. Mm-hmm. And Adam Copeland, if I may use his name,
sure.
Is probably one of the best. I worked with him. He's a great guy, a great professional wrestler. I remember when John and he were in Canada, I was there, and they had the table stacked up. John was on the ladder, and he had Edge on his shoulders for the FU then. And I saw John shake his head, and you could hear Edge say, now. And when Edge went through those tables, was knocked out, and Edge's mother was behind me, and all I could hear was, oh, my God. But there's a tremendous athlete. I think the return of Cena was good. I think it was well done.
Excellent.
I just think WWE should have put a swerve in there. The last night on SmackDown, when I said, well, there's a chance. We're going to have a 17-time world champion. And then as soon as Roman Reigns extended his hand, and this is what I mean about storylines and writers, I don't get it. He extends his hand and said, I'll tell you what, I'll do one better. If I lose, I'll leave WWE.
Right.
Come on, guys.
Right.
It's a loss.
Yeah.
What I would have done.
Agreed. That's what I thought. Agreed.
Well, I didn't like it. What's the point of watching the show? Tell me that. I don't understand.
Yep.
I don't mind paying money, but if I can come to the end before you.
Right.
And then I was watching and I said to somebody, you know what? I'm going to put $10 on the table right now. Lesnar's coming out. No way. All right. What happened after Cena took the beat down?
Yep. There it is.
Yeah. See, I think what should have happened was Cena should have won that. That would have been the swerve. Paul Heyman would have intervened and said, hold it. There was no contract, nothing in writing. He doesn't leave the WWE. As a matter of fact, tomorrow night or at Madison Square Garden, there'll be a rematch.
Interesting.
Let Rand have it back. I mean, I don't care what's going to happen. Brock Lesnar's going to go in now. We're going to have the same old thing all over again. And people are going to complain all over again. We've got a part-time champion. Unless the deal is, who does Roman Reigns really have left to fight? He's just going to keep going through these older stars, and he's just going to beat each one? It's beginning to not make sense anymore.
Interesting.